Hi everyone, I'm Kat and welcome to my channel, Naturally Beautiful Girl. Because Kosas has released so many new products, including a new concealer which I recently reviewed and I will link up above, I thought it would be fun to do a video where I do a full face of Kosas products and kind of share with you my continued thoughts on them. So to start off with, of course, we're going to be using the Kosas Tinted Face Oil. And I have the shade 01, which is the lightest shade of this foundation, and I'm going to go ahead and shake this up and apply it to my face. So I really do enjoy this foundation. It's one of my favorites and it's in my rotation quite frequently. And I like it because it is a lighter weight foundation. It's perfect for those days where you just want a little bit of coverage, but not too much. And that's kind of in the mood I've been in recently, where I just want to kind of even out my skin tone, get a bit of coverage, and yeah, be ready to go. I've gotten a number of questions about how this wears on my oily skin, and I have to say it does wear quite well. I think especially because it is a more lightweight foundation, it helps it to be a bit more forgiving in terms of wearing well on my skin. But it doesn't break apart, and even though it does have oil in the name, it's not too oily, which you know, I'm also a fan of. One of the nice things about this foundation is you can apply it using just your fingers. I typically use a brush, but today I just felt like using my fingers, so that's what I did. Also, you can build up the coverage where you need a bit more. As you saw, I kind of went in with some extra foundation on my cheeks just to give a little bit more coverage there, but it is really quite adjustable. The shade 01, as you can see, is a pretty good shade match for me. I think especially with it being a more lightweight, light coverage foundation, the shade matching can be a bit more forgiving. But overall, I really have been enjoying it and I'm still continuing to use it. So instead of going in with concealer next, I'm actually going to reach for a cream blush. And this is the Kosas 8th Muse. This is not the high intensity cream blush and highlighter. This is just the regular one. Also, I have to say this is completely normal, but mine just has some bumps in it. And I think it's just from it being cool and then warm and kind of the product adjusting. Sometimes this happens with natural products. That's happened with mine, but the formula is still perfectly fine, perfectly good to use. So as you can see, this highlight here is not the high intensity one. It's not the pinker one, it's the golder one. I will talk more about the highlighter when I get to applying that, but right now I'm going to apply the blush. I really like the shade of it. Really one of the reasons I don't reach for this blush as much as you would think I would, given that I absolutely love cream blushes, is the fact that it does fade quite quickly on me. As you can see, I'm putting quite a bit on, but this will fade on me pretty quickly, so I do need to kind of get a bit more product on than I typically would go for. I wish it would just last a little bit longer. It's probably a result of me having oily skin, but I do what I can to make it work. I like the color of this blush. I like the level of pigmentation. I like the blendability of it. Like I said, really my only gripe with it is just how long it lasts, or in this case, how long it doesn't last on my skin. I haven't tried out any of their powder products. I've been kind of curious about them, but at the end of the day, I really prefer a cream blush formula, so I do reach for this. It's just not one of my most reached for cream blushes, for the reason that it just fades pretty quickly. So actually, before going ahead and doing highlighter, I'm going to do concealer. So I know the steps are a little bit all over the place, but this is just how I do my makeup. So I am going to be using the brand new Kosas concealer. This is in the shade 01. It's the lightest shade of the concealer, and I'm going to conceal under my eyes and also just conceal a few acne spots around my face. I do find that this concealer works best under my eyes for me. I don't find that it has quite enough coverage for concealing acne, but you know, especially when I'm going for a more no makeup look, this will work for covering acne, but there are other concealers I prefer more for that. As you can see, I now have the concealer blended out under my eyes. I don't love the shade. That's really my main drawback with this concealer, is the shade 01 is a smidge yellow. I would honestly prefer something a little bit lighter and a little bit less yellow for my skin tone. It works when the yellow mixes with the kind of purpley blue in my under eyes. It's just not my favorite look. So that's one of my main drawbacks with this concealer. I think if you had a different skin tone than I do, it would work better, but if you have really porcelain skin tone, this isn't quite the right concealer shade. As you can see, the concealer did work a lot better in terms of shade for my face. Like, I feel like it's a good shade match with the 01 foundation. It's just neither of them is perfect for my skin tone. The foundation is just more forgiving because it is lighter coverage, but with the concealer, I feel like you can tell that the concealer is not quite the right shade. I am going to go ahead and apply the cream highlighter from the Muse palette, and then I will go ahead and set under my eyes and the rest of my face. So with this highlighter, it's really pretty, but it's once again not quite the right shade. Like, it's just not quite as light of a highlighter as I would like, and for that reason, it's not as highlighting. It's just a little bit deep for my skin tone. It does work. Like, I think it works and it looks okay. There are just other highlighters that I like better because the shade is better for me. So I think it's a beautiful highlighter. It's just, once again, a bit of a shade issue. And that's the whole problem with these cream highlighters, because all of the non-high intensity cream highlighters are the same shade. The high intensity cream highlighters are different shades. I bought this one before the high intensity palettes came out. And then also when I looked at the high intensity highlighter for the 8th Muse palette, it was very pink, and it was like too pink for my skin tone. So neither highlighter works quite right for me either. So I guess there's like a little bit of grumbling about the shade range of Kosas. It could use a little bit of work, especially on the fair porcelain side of the spectrum. Like, I think this looks okay in terms of highlighter. Like, I don't think it looks obvious I'm wearing a highlighter that's too deep. It's close enough to my skin tone where it does work. You can see it highlighting and catching the light nicely. I just think it would look better if it were a little bit lighter in the underlying shade. Because as you can see sitting in the pan here, like, that's a pretty deep shade for someone with my skin tone. Like, you can see my skin tone is lighter than the highlighter itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and set under my eyes and also just set the rest of my face. I do need to set under my eyes, especially using this concealer, because it does crease on me. It's not one of the most crease-proof concealers. Ilia True Skin Serum Concealer, I always talk about that one, but that one really, yes, I do set it, but it does stay in place really well. This one, I do set it and it does crease a little bit. I can then tap those creases out throughout the day, but it's not entirely crease-proof, and I think part of the reason why is because it's more of a creamy, kind of radiant concealer, which I think if you have drier skin would be like amazing, but if you have oily skin and any kind of under eye creases, it will tend to move around a little bit. So setting it definitely does help, but it still will move around a bit on me. So I went ahead, I set under my eyes, I set the rest of my face, and I also applied some brows because Kosas doesn't have any powder products. Well, powder like face products and setting powders, nor do they have a brow product. But I feel like at the rate Kosas is going, we will probably see a brow product from them. I'm gonna make that prediction. Probably like a tinted brow gel, like Glossier Boy Brow-esque product is what I would envision. We'll see if that happens. We'll see if I was right about that, or maybe they'll watch this video and get that idea. But anyway, we're gonna move on to eyeshadow, and Kosas has one of my favorite eyeshadow products, which are the Kosas 10-second eyeshadows. I first started out with this shade here, which is Clove, and then I picked up the shade Copper Halo because I loved Clove so much, and then I went ahead and picked up the shade Fahrenheit. And I have to say something. So Clove and Copper Halo have the same formula. Fahrenheit, on the other hand, has a much more finicky formula, and I don't like the shade Fahrenheit nearly as much because of the difference in formula. Copper Halo and Clove are very kind of metallic, they're very glittery, they're easy to blend out, they're easy to work with, they just work really well and are easy to apply. They're really 10-second eyeshadows. Fahrenheit, on the other hand, is less metallic, and for some reason it tends to get streaky. It's hard to blend out. Like, the consistency is just completely different. So I know Reagan has talked about this too, because she tried out some shade of the Kosas 10-second eyeshadows, didn't like it, thought the whole line was not great. And I, on the other hand, was trying out Clove and was like, this is the best product ever. And then it turned out that there are some shades that are really good and some shades that are not so good. So if you are interested in picking them up, I would recommend not getting Fahrenheit, and Clove and Copper Halo are definitely both solid options. Because we're kind of going for a more minimal eye look today, I thought it would make sense to use my favorite, which is Clove. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this to my lids. You do have to shake these up quite a bit before you apply them. So make sure to do that. And then I'll just apply this to my lid and blend it out with my fingers. And this is how I do my eyeshadow so often. Like, this is my standard, like, I'm running out the door to get to work kind of look, where I just take this one eyeshadow, blend it all over my eyelids, and I'm good to go. And there you go. That was so fast, so easy, and it looks like I tried. It looks like I put on this really fancy eyeshadow and it was just seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and pop on some mascara and we'll convene back to talk about lips. Now to move on to lips. So Kosas actually has 3 different lip products and I now own all of them. The first one is their like OG product. Like, this is the original Kosas product, and this is their lipsticks. And I have 2 of them. I have the shade Royal, which is this kind of deep pinky plummy color. And then I also have my newest edition, which is this little sample size of Kosas Rosewater. And I have to say, everyone talks about Rosewater and how obsessed they are with it, and it's for good reason. Like, this color is beautiful. I absolutely love it. I love the shade Royal, but I really love the shade Rosewater, and it has been a shade that I've been reaching for so much recently. I really like the Kosas lipsticks. They are not my favorite formula though. I have to say, I still stand by the Ilia Color Block lipsticks and the Red Apple lipsticks as being my favorite formula. These are good. They're decently long wearing. They're not quite as creamy and comfortable as those other 2 formulas, and they're not quite as long wearing as those, but they are really good. Those 2 formulas just like are a little bit better than these in my opinion, but that doesn't stop me from wearing them. The colors are absolutely beautiful, and especially for the shade Rosewater, I will definitely wear it. I have been wearing it a ton because it's this beautiful, beautiful like rose pink color. So they have rather recently released 2 more lip products. First one I'm going to talk about is their lip gloss. So I have the Kosas, it's called their Wet Lip Oil Lip Gloss, and this is in the shade Malibu. As you can tell, I like pink lip products. I think it just looks better on my coloring. So I really have been enjoying this. I've worn this a lot. It is one of my most reached for lip glosses. I like how pigmented it is. You can see it's right here. The lipstick, I didn't do a great job of swatching. I didn't press very hard. That's why it looks not the most pigmented. I apologize. But the lip gloss is definitely super pigmented. It's a little sticky, but not too sticky. It's really comfortable. It's not the most long wearing, but it is a lip gloss. But I definitely have been loving it. And then the third product, which is actually the one I'm going to put on today, is their Kosas Sport. And I have the shade Rush. And I didn't think I needed this product in my life. Rush reminds me a lot of Rosewater. Actually, let me build up Rosewater so it's actually a decent swatch for you guys, because I feel like this swatch is just not doing it justice. Okay, there we go. There's Kosas Rosewater built up. So as you can see, these 3 lip products are very much in the same color family, but Rush reminds me of a little bit lighter version of Rosewater. And what I was saying was, I didn't think I needed this product. Why would I want a lip balm? I'm not a lip balm kind of girl. But then I kept hearing everyone talking about it, and then it made it into Caroline's like best products of 2019. And when I saw her say that, I was like, all right, Caroline, you've got really good recommendations. I need to try this product out. And by the way, that's Caroline from Cosmetics by Caroline. So I went out and I bought it and I have been in love with it. I'm gonna apply it for you here so you can see what it looks like. As you can see, you can build the color up. It's definitely a sheer product. But you can kind of adjust the color, the level of pigmentation to what you want it to be. But what I love about this product is it is, for me, the more comfortable creamy version of the Rosewater lipstick. The Rosewater lipstick is definitely a more pigmented, less glossy. As you can see, this definitely looks kind of glossy on my lips, but I absolutely love it. Like, I can see why Caroline had it in her like best of 2019 products. Like, this has become a product that I just keep on hand, and it's so easy to throw in your bag, to throw it on when you're at work or when you're out and about. It's really easy to just touch it up. I love it. It's obviously not the most long wearing product. The lipsticks do wear longer on your lips if you want longevity. But this product is just so comfortable and so easy to use that I am okay using it. And I have applied it before without a mirror. Like, I've been traveling, been on an airplane, just been like, whoop, and good to go. It's that kind of product that you can actually do that with it. So I really have loved it. The only thing I don't like about this product is the scent. I only smell it when I first put it on, but I love the scent of all the other Kosas products. It's just the scent of this one is different and I don't like it as much. But overall, I have to say Caroline was right. If you've not tried out the Kosas balm, and that kind of sounds like a product you'd be into, a creamy, hydrating, comfortable, but pigmented balm, definitely check it out. And if you love the color Rosewater, check out the shade Rush in the Kosas Sport. So I hope you enjoyed me doing a full face of Kosas products. I know a number of you requested that when I floated the idea in my Kosas Revealer Concealer review. I kind of wanted to give you my overall thoughts. I really do like the brand Kosas. I really feel like it is a high performance, beautiful, clean beauty brand. It's kind of more on the minimal side. Those are the kind of looks I've been gravitating towards lately, and I feel like Kosas definitely hits the mark on that. Their shades and complexion products could definitely use some help. I'm here petitioning for a 0.5 in the concealer that's like a little bit lighter and a little bit less yellow toned, and also honestly a 0.5 in the foundation would be awesome too. They have 0.5, like, what, I don't know all the 0.5s, but they have like 3.5 for instance in their foundation. They need just like a 0.5 in the foundation concealer. Also with the cream highlighter and blush, if you have fair to light skin, this would work for you. Or deeper skin. Well, I guess if your skin was really deep, the highlighter might not be the right shade. But basically what I'm saying is they need to come out with some other highlighter shades and not just this one golden shade for all the regular palettes, and not, because the high intensity shades are like really intense. So I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag on this. I feel like it's the type of product where it either works well for your skin tone or it doesn't, and you're kind of left with one or the other. And the blush is just not the most long wearing on me. Even in the space of me filming this video, it has begun to fade. It will eventually fade to a point and then kind of stop, but that's why I have to put on so much of the product. I look kind of crazy at first, but I don't know, just kind of like my skin eats it. It's funny because I have oily skin and you would think that would happen to more blushes, but honestly it doesn't happen that often. For me with the 10-second eyeshadows, the shade Globe is beautiful. The shade Copper Halo is beautiful, especially Globe. Like, if you had to pick up one shade, pick up Globe. It's my perfect everyday shade. It really fits in well with the whole idea of a 10-second eyeshadow look because it's such a nice kind of champagne shade. I also really love all their lip products. My favorite being right now the Kosas Sport. Like, that has been the one I've been reaching for. But I absolutely love the lipsticks as well, and the lip gloss is a beautiful, beautiful formula. Overall, I really enjoy the brand. I like how all the products work together. And doing a full face of Kosas products really lets you see kind of how they all work together and mesh well together. Like, the foundation works well with the concealer, which works well with the blush and highlight, which works well with the 10-second eyeshadows, which works well with the lip products. Like, it all just kind of meshes and works well together. So it's fun to do a full face of one brand. If you have a number of products from one brand, I recommend giving it a shot. It's fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And also be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Check me out on Instagram. I'm at naturallybeautifulgirl. Been trying to be a little bit more active over there lately so we can keep each other company. So if you'd like some company, check me out there. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!